Hello, hello, and welcome to the Turn Purpose to Profit Summit Series. I am your host, Jen Johnson. I'm so thrilled that you are here with us today because we have a special someone joining us, Miss Danelle Delgado. And I have to brag on her a little bit here because, first off, she's known as the Millionaire Maker. So if that doesn't make you want to tune in, I don't know what will. And Danelle, she really began her journey when she was faced with raising three small children on her own. Definitely was forced to make a change, and she was working three jobs, 80 to 90 hours a week, just struggling to survive, to creating this award-winning business, persisting her way in to align with some of the world's most renowned business experts and gained them as her personal mentors, which I'm really excited to talk about. After years of high-level learning with them, she built one of the fastest-growing training companies to date and has had massive impact around the globe, from her international speaking to best-selling book called I Choose Joy, and her unmatched skills guiding entrepreneurs both online and offline to scale their companies to $1 million and their lives to ultimate fulfillment. So, Danelle, welcome, my friend.
Thank you. That's quite an intro. But it's absolutely awesome. Thank you for having me. Thank you for what you were doing in the marketplace. It's needed.
Absolutely. Yes. This is a big leap, but I'm so excited. I'm so thrilled that you're here. And I really am so excited for all these questions. Who knows where they'll go? I always write out questions and then I have more as we talk. So, So just like kind of the information that you had sent me and, the nutshell of your journey, I'm really trying to get into that place where you were this single mom with three kids struggling to just make things, pay bills, right?
Right.
Where were you at that time, mentally, spiritually? What was going on at that moment that really had you thinking like something's got to change?
Well, what a great question. I try not to visit that spot very often.
I'm getting you in your comfort zone, out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, but it's, I think getting to that point where you realize, a lot of people will talk about my story and they'll go, hey, we know you overcame divorce and cancer and all these different things, gosh, don't you wish it would have happened differently? And I'm like, I'm grateful it happened exactly how it did. Mm-hmm. Right? It was so necessary. So pretty much, everything I had ever known, I was in a marriage where we never even fought. Like we didn't fight. We were great friends. Everything was okay. We had three kids. We were blessed with that. We had lost one before. That was really a challenging experience. So we had three. We were blessed. And in an instant, things changed. And, I was on my own and had the kiddos. And as a teacher and a youth pastor, those are like neither one able to support a family. They're like honorable donations to the cause. Yeah. And I knew that what I loved to do was no longer going to be what I could do because I had to provide for my kids. So I took on every single thing possible. I was exhausted. I worked all day. I worked all night. Plus I had the kids at home. And you just kind of reach this point where you go, okay, it's forced me to be in this situation. I know something has to change. And it really those challenges made me see what I was capable of. I was crying all the time. I was stressed. I was on empty. If you ask where I was spiritually, mentally, I never doubted God. I'm a woman of faith. That's just one thing I don't get. Maybe it's the gift of faith. I don't know, but I never was like, God, why would you do this to me? That was never a thought in my head. Cause I know everything that's happened has been so on purpose and led me to the exact plan that he had for me. So I never doubted, but I did doubt my capability to get out of it.
I totally hear what you're saying. Absolutely.
Right. So, I prayed a lot, right? Like a lot. Like when they say pray without ceasing, I'm pretty sure I didn't talk to like any humans. I just talked to God all day and was like, just show me the way, make it clear. I need like neon signs today, please. Like, as clear as possible. Yes. And I think it was nice to know, as long as there's just me and God, like I know I'm not on my own. I never felt alone, even though I really just had me and the kids. So it got bad. I'll tell you, it got so bad. My friends rented me an apartment for 30 days. I had 30 days to earn enough to be able to stay there. And now they might have helped me but I was like, I was one of those ladies who doesn't ask for help. Like, it's very difficult. It's like painful. My body might be seizing if I have to ask for help. Right. So, I didn't have money for furniture. I had nothing. I actually bought a tent. That was the last thing that I had. And I thought if my kids could play in there and we'd sleep in there, they wouldn't notice we don't have furniture. They were really tiny. And so that's where it all started.
That is incredible.
Yeah. The tent has improved.
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting here telling you, okay, you have this office in your living room, and I'm like here in my living room going, I want my office.
Right? It still shocks me. I am blessed beyond measure. But I think our lowest points are our opportunities to see windows of hope. And that's all I had. I had like a crack of hope going, like I could see, all right, I have a product to sell. I will just learn how to sell it. I'll listen to everything free online that I can to train myself, right? And I had a window. That's all I needed. I needed a crack of light to go, okay, I can get out of this. It's going to be one day at a time. I have to eliminate everything else that could distract me. That's the thing. Most entrepreneurs are afraid.
Yeah.
They live in fear. They go, what if people don't like me? What if I fail? I couldn't afford to have any of those fears. I had zero fears because I was already at the bottom. Right?
Where are you going to go from there, right?
I was like, well, everybody already thinks I'm a wreck because I worked at a church. Now I'm divorced. I have nothing. Everybody already hates me. Really couldn't get that worse.
Right.
So,
and also embracing those hard times is so key, and having that relationship with God and the faith and knowing his promises are like those things help you in those hard times. Remember that this isn't where you need to stay. And also help you appreciate the hard times because sometimes they're needed to give you the push.
Right. Oh, for sure. It was absolutely needed. Somebody asked me the other day, actually recently, they go, what if you wouldn't have done this? What if you would have just caved and kept those jobs and listened? Because everybody around me was like, Danelle, you're being ridiculous. You're putting your kids in danger. You're trying to be an entrepreneur. You know nothing about it. And I just had this calling on my life. Like, I have a voice. It's meant to be heard. I'm going to help people longer and further than other people. I just had this inner, it was God going, I've created you for a purpose. Do not listen to anyone. And if the pain wouldn't have been that bad, I might not have fought for it. I might have been like, I'll just stay comfortable.
Right. And I think it's a key that we step out of fear and into faith. A lot of times we could be praying to God and praying to God and praying to God. And he's like, okay, well, when are you going to get out of the boat? I'm already out here. When are you going to walk? And we have to take that first step, and it's scary. And sometimes we feel like we need someone to push us off the ledge. And you mentioned, well, I have these products, I'll just sell them. And I think that's a fear for people because a lot of people in this industry, they have products, but they're afraid of that outcome. Like, what if I put myself out there and be excited and vulnerable and it totally flops? And I mean, did you ever have those moments where that actually happened for you, where you're like, I put it out there and it was just like, nothing?
Yeah, a ton. So my third month in business was December, ironically. And, I literally have it down. I will never forget this. I did 66 meetings to sell by myself while working the 3 jobs. I sold 0. I was so bad. I signed no one to help sell. I signed 0 products. I cried every day. Everyone in my life was like, Danelle, this is not the path for you. This is a really dumb move. You are putting your children's life on the line. You can't even afford a babysitter for you to get 0 sales, right? I was so bad. I wept like I've never wept before. I cried like I never cried. I had no other path. I had there were no more hours in the day I could work. Like, I had all the jobs, everything in between. When the kids went to bed, I worked the phone, like until people were like, don't call me, it's too late. I have children. Like, it was bad. Um, but that is where I learned how to talk to people, how to listen to people. I read more books. I went all in. And in January, I signed 124. Now, personally, just by myself, people
Wow.
that helped me sell the product, I think I made like between $15,000 and $20,000 that month. It was the most I'd ever made in my whole life.
Wow.
And I remember like shaking with goosebumps all over going, I was this close to quitting. I was this close to going, throw in the towel. You're just going to live poor. You're not going to be able to give back. You're going to have to be a poor, humble servant,
Right.
you know? And I think for me, that one win that I had made me never stop during the hard ever again, because I knew how worth it one win was. It only took 30 more days to have the best win of my life. And so when I get to the hard spots now, I just go, well, I only need 30 more days to the next best win of my life. So I train my brain. You're always 30 to 90 days is about what I figure from my personal story.
Right.
The biggest win of your life.
Absolutely. So you went from 0 and then a month later to 124. Was it, obviously there was strategy that might have changed, but also was there a mindset shift that needed to change?
I think it was all mindset.
Yeah, it's funny.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody wants tactic, strategy, and mindset's not like that sexy thing that attracts people. So can you talk about like what was that mental shift that had to take place for you to go from 0 to 124? That's a big jump.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting is I just like 2 seconds ago did a live video about this. And I said, if you really want to earn more, if you want to win, there's 2 things that have to change. And I said, you'll never out earn your circle or your self-esteem. And when I was losing 66 no's, I started reaching out to all these people in the company who were winning. And they felt pity on me because I was losing so bad. They're like, single mom's having a rough time. Can anybody give her some words of advice? So doing that, I humbled myself, reached out to the greatest people in the world. I started building relationships with them, and they became like mentors to me.
Yeah.
So one, I fixed my circle, and they didn't let me doubt. They always give me new solutions, new efforts. They said, don't come to me with problems. Come with solutions. We'll help you think of even better ones, right?
Yeah.
So I was no longer thinking, I'm losing. I was thinking, I have the best people in the world helping me. What could go wrong, right?
Yeah.
So that part shifted. And then I started working on my self-esteem. I go, listen, this self-talk, this negative, this losing is never going to serve me. I eliminated a bunch of people in my life who I didn't think were going to be helping me at that moment. And maybe I could have done that kinder. I did do it kind of harshly. I don't suggest people do it how I did. I was like, you're out. Like pretty much was not good. Like family, friends, I was just like, get out. I can't have all of you telling me I'm horrible right now. Like you just have to get out. And that was just me surviving. Now I would do that much kinder and say, hey, if you're going to speak to me, I need you to speak life, or we don't need to have a conversation right now. You know, just do it better than I do.
That's valid. There's a lot of people who have that, you know, they're afraid to really go out there on social media because their friends and their family can see them. And if it's me, I'm like, you know, my friends and my family will always be they'll be my friends and family, but if they're not they're gonna be negative, like we don't have to be friends on social. I'll see you at home.
Right. You know, it's a hard thing. People protect you at the level at which they know. And most of the people in the world were not entrepreneurs. So they had no idea. And now it's been really cool to see some of them come back around and they're like, wow, we're really proud of what you've done. That's amazing. And I'm like, thanks. Remember when you almost shattered me? But it's okay. I don't say that. I just, I offer grace and forgiveness.
Right.
They didn't know. Only I, like, seriously, if anybody's listening to this, what you need to know is you are the only one who know your potential. Like God didn't put your potential in somebody else. He didn't tell somebody else what they should tell you. I don't care who comes up to you and says, hey, God gave me a message to tell you should stop. Or that's not biblical, and that's not how God gives messages. Like only one who put your potential, your fight, your capabilities together in a way that you could know, like it's you. It's just you. And nobody should ever speak into that. They can speak into other areas of your life, but God gets that one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. And it's that journey from, here to here that really, it seems so short, but it's the longest journey ever.
Yeah. Right. Well, people ask how I warmed up for this, right? And people go, oh, she went in 1 month from losing to winning. And I go, no, it was a journey of the 5 years before where I was a youth pastor. And I was building my faith in God in a way that I never had before. So I don't do doubt. I don't do fear. I'm like, God's got me. Even if I screw up so bad, there's always a solution.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be left behind as long as I serve him and share and help people as much as I possibly can. Like, he's got my back. So I think I had 5 years of preparation, but it was all building a bigger circle, my own self-esteem. And I'm not talking self-love. Self-esteem meaning is conditional. Okay. Yeah. Self-esteem is I prove what I'm worth, right? Yeah. Which is a little bit different than faith, because you have faith, you are loved no matter what. But for me, if I didn't go win, well, then I needed to train more. If I wanted to earn more, well, I had to earn a little. I had to work my way up and prove all those lies in my head were not fact, right? People were like, you're a bad mom. You shouldn't be in sales. You should be home. And I was like, well, it's nice that you have a husband that's home. Good for you. Yeah. I don't have that situation, right? And I said, no, I'm a great mom, right? Every single day I just had to disprove and prove to myself that my self-esteem was accurate.
Yeah. It's managing the mind, for sure. Mind management. And so I know you mentioned, you persisted your way to align with experts, and that's definitely a smart thing to do. I know many love the idea of that, to like, oh, I want to connect with Danelle, but they fear that. So were you just acting as if to get connected with these high-level experts, or did you know exactly what you were looking to learn? Was there already a vision in place?
Great question.
What was the thought process behind aligning with these people?
Yeah, let me just tell you, here's the problem I see now. People go, oh, well, if I get that influencer to share my thing out, it'll be great. Or if I get that relationship with that person or a picture with that person, it will help. That is not what I did at all. I don't know why. I just didn't even think that way. Maybe influencer wasn't a thing back then either.
Right.
Because people call me that now. I'm like, am I? I don't know, really. Like, I go, but it's an interesting word and thought process. So for me, it was all about, I promised my audience that I would bring them the best of the best. So I couldn't let them down. Okay. I put that on myself, and I said, well, I don't want to have mediocre trainers training them.
Yeah.
I want to have the best training them, and I want to learn from the best. So if I can find, pay, invest my way into working with them, then I'll just share them. Right?
Yeah.
And what I learned is all influencers really want is your audience as well. They want to be able to impact more people too. And even if they have millions, they don't have yours. So what I did was I got to know them. For instance, Grant Cardone, right? Yeah. He's a great example, worth $500 million in real estate or more. He was kind of on the rise when I first found out about him, and his training was so honest, so true. He was a little wild, which I think we all have a little bit of a wild child in us sometimes. Yeah. And I just wanted to learn his sales techniques and his language. He was the best of the best. And so I did videos every single day, like big videos, like walked into a piano store, rewrote Piano Man and played it for him and sang to him in front of all these people. We used Corey's playing. We flew around Denver. I found out what he wanted, and he wanted to impact 4 billion people. That was like his goal. So I said, well, there's 4 million here in Denver. Come on over, right? Like, I spoke to and worked to serve what he wanted. So I said, listen, I've got an audience. I want to share them with you. How could I do it? And at first they were kind of like, that's cute. We love your passion. Please stop sending us videos. And so I sent more videos.
I love it.
Right? I was like, you will not ignore me, because that's what he teaches.
Yeah.
He teaches that. And so he gave me like a 5-minute phone call. and told me what I was doing was not going to work in business. And it like literally kind of ate me for lunch on live video with everybody watching on the internet. And I think he liked that. Instead of me being humiliated, I actually just took his advice and was like, thank you. Okay, great. So how do I do it? So he gave me about 5-10 minutes, and I went and did it. In the next 4 months, rather than building another 6-figure business, which I had done at that time, he goes, why would you not take one of those businesses and really maximize it and make 6 figures in a month? And so I took his idea, I mapped it all out, I did it. And then I actually did it in a day instead of a month, and shocked myself. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've been missing the point. I was thinking if I created 10 6-figure businesses, I'd be a millionaire and I'd be able to give back and do these things. And he's like, that's exhausting. That is stupid. Right. And I was like, oh, I just didn't know business. Right. I had no clue what I was doing. This was a few years ago. And so then when I did it, it was his birthday, and all these people were posting things like, happy birthday, you're the best, when can I hang out with you? Like, they were posting all these cheesy things. And I go, you know what I bet he would like to get on his birthday is to know how much I value his life. And so I did a video, and I held up his book, and I said, a few months ago, I got this book. A few months ago, you did a phone call with me and told me my ideas weren't going to work. So I put together a plan that was exactly what you said. I did it, and I 10x'd my life and my business, my 3 kids, and I thank you. On your birthday, you need to know how much your life is worth. Thank you. It changed mine. And just send him a video. Like, we didn't really think that much about it, that it would be that big of a deal.
Right.
Because I was just grateful. What he showed me, he changed everything for me in one little shift. And so back then when Periscope, remember Periscope?
Oh.
Okay. So Periscope was on, and some of his employees were holding up Periscope at his office that day. And I see in the background my picture up on the screen, and I'm like, oh no, they have the video. What is that? But it was the coolest gift. I got to see his face watching my video, and he got a little teary-eyed. Oh, and wow. It was just started this incredible relationship. So then he came out, did one of my events. Rather than selling at my event, like he does at all events a lot, right? He said, listen, we're proud of you. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm here to help you. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, and then he put me on the stage at 10X, you know?
Yeah.
My audience hit him up so much. He was like, Danelle, get your audience to leave me alone. We love you, but this is 10X, right? Yeah. And so I told my audience, hey guys, chill out, quit bugging Grant. And then the Aussies were like, double time. And they hit him up over and over and over again. And he's like, fine, she's in. These ladies won't leave me alone. You know, like, so when you talk about, you know, aligning with someone of influence, build relationships. Yeah. You are not too small to build a relationship with a giant. And I just wanted to serve them and tell them thank you. Like, so I study the people I want to align with, because I want to know if I really want to align with them.
Yeah.
You know? So I studied, and then I serve what they really want to do in this world. And that got their attention, as opposed to something cheesy or gimmicky, or, hey, I sent you a box with my products, please share them. Like, that's not serving anyone.
No.
You know? Yeah.
Wow, that is such a powerful story, and I love that. You're not too small to build a relationship with a giant. Because you do, like, in the beginning, you feel like, you know, oh my gosh, like interviewing Danelle, or, you know, I have all these amazing people part of this summit, and I'm thinking, wow, like, did that just happen? Or, you know, you think that way, and but then at the same time, you think, you know, why not? Like, why wouldn't I be able to do that?
I appreciate valuable people who persist, right? You had to persist with me.
Oh, I did.
I actually have not said yes to anyone to do this in probably 2 years.
Wow.
But I've watched you come up. I've watched you be consistent. I have watched you crush it. And then you talk to me about your faith too. And, you know, I don't have a lot of opportunity to share my faith a lot with entrepreneurs, just because of the light that I'm in. I do it behind the scenes when they're in my training programs and that kind of thing. That's just my calling and how I do that. So I was like, you know, I just felt God saying, do this one. So you're doing amazing things, lady.
Thank you. And we've yet to do like a song together. I know
We
we've
need
talked
to
about
do a song together.
that.
We
You
should
know,
do it for Friday Night Live. That would be
something fun, right?
I need to fly to you and we'll do it.
I know, absolutely. So through all of this, like, let's talk clarity, because I know people really struggle with just being clear on what they're doing in this space, because there's so many people they're listening to, they're following this person and this person, watching this live, buying this course, and it's just so much. And I've really learned to just figure out the ones I need to focus on for 90 days and just stay focused on that thing. But in the beginning, like when you were getting started, did you have the clarity and know like, okay, these are my spiritual gifts and this is how I'm going to build the business? Or was there a lot of trial and error figuring it out along the way?
I think that's a great question. And this is actually what I help entrepreneurs do the most to monetize their life.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are not clear. It takes them 45 minutes to land on what they want to sell, right? Yeah. And like, okay, if you can't answer it in 4 words, we're not talking anymore, right? Yeah. So, for me, it took some trial and error, but I really think it was because I had legends in my life that helped me. Mm-hmm. But now I just teach the process I did. And there were 3 things that I build that mm-hmm. make it very clear in my life what I'm doing, what I'm selling. It makes me say yes or no to things. It's why I said yes to you. Mm-hmm. And it's my mission, my vision, and my values. And when I have those 3 things aligned, mm-hmm. it's a yes. If one of those is not aligned with something that gets offered to me, it's a no. So mission is like what your customers are going to hear, one blanket thing. Like my mission is to help people become the one their results require, right? That's it. That's my mission. Like there's a level of you that has to shift and change and a skill set in order for you to earn what you want. You know, my vision is to align with the world's giants, collaborate with them and change the world, right? Like, so there's a couple of different things, and I know my values. They are immovable. They are the things that I will not shift on. Anybody who works for me, they have to have the same values, or it's an out. Any clients that I work with have to have the same values. Most people are just trying to get anybody to say yes to believe they can win.
Right.
The more fine-tuned and clear you are, if you can tell someone what you do in 4 to 7 words or less, you will win. If you are clear on why you are doing it, the vision behind everything, right? You know, for me, I'm here to shift the world. I'm here to help people get paid, know their value and get paid it, right? Yeah. Then you have your values, like you'll align with the right people. You know, it's just like this. As a believer, a lot of people give me flack for spending time with Rand because he has a different belief system.
Right.
And those people who said that, I'm like, well, where in the Bible does it say we're only supposed to hang out with people who are of some faith?
Right.
I'm confused. They're like, you're aligning with that. And I go, yes, I align with legends who have the ability to impact the world, and I am the light.
Yes.
So you do you, right? So it's fine. But people who say that just don't know their values. They're not, they're just questionables. They don't understand. For me, every step that I take is strategic, all along aligned with my mission, vision, and values. And that's what I think if people would start there in business, mm-hmm. They'd say yes to the right things, no to the wrong things. They'd actually land on a win faster than just selling to anyone.
Absolutely. And thinking back to even biblical times, like Jesus he didn't hang out with just believers. Like he wasn't just healing believers, you know? So it's, you do need that. You do need to, and also like, but bring your example, bring, like you said, bring the light, Absolutely. So I know one of the things I like to say is like, pray like it depends on God, work like it depends on you. And from you building, training companies, you wrote a book, you speak around on the world on stages, and this isn't an accident. It's not luck. It's not by chance. But were these all things that you had intentionally planned and sought out? Or do you feel like these were doors that God had opened for you through the process of just moving?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. Mm-hmm. For me, like big, huge, long-term goals scare me. Well, not scare me, but like they deter me from like taking action. I'm always take the next right step, work it hard, and then the next door opens. Like, it is very interesting. I had a napkin business plan. when I
Mhm.
started this.
Do
So
they
I
have circles and triangles?
right? A little bit different, but let me just tell you this. This is a crazy story, okay? And I forgot until I did a post, and one of my friends who was sitting with me when I drew on the napkin reminded me.
Okay.
So because I built networking, I did all the sales, and then I got cancer, and it really reset me into what my dent was going to be in this world.
Mhm.
It helped me create my own company and do my own thing, and I realized that I was the best at training, and that's what I needed to do. And so I drew it out. And I said, I'm going to call it life intended, because we have to intend every step in advance.
Mhm.
Right? Like, we have to know where we're headed. People are just like throwing stuff out there and trying to win, So I drew it out. I drew a big old house. That was amazing. And I said, I want to do retreats there for women, and I want to serve the world. I want to travel the world, and I want to have online training. Like, I drew out what I thought.
Right.
And when I bought this house and I posted a picture of the back, my friend posted on the thing, she goes, get the napkin. And I got the napkin. The house looks almost exactly the same as what I live in now.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
Like, when you talk about pray for where you are supposed to go and it gives you a vision, it was pretty spot on. I wanted to speak. Australia was the one place that I wanted to travel. That's where I have another company with 2 amazing business partners who are just like me and amazing. So I think we have inside of us that dream that God puts in our heart, but it's how connected we are with him and how focused we are on the next right step. He just unfolds it. Like, he gives us, I think, a blueprint, a little bit, a vision.
Sure.
Most of the time it's when we see something, we're like, I could do that. That's supposed to be a sign. That's not just a random moment in time. It's actually, people ask all the time, could it really be me? And I'm like, stop asking that question. That if you ask that question, that means you're the 1% and it's meant to be you. Most people don't ask that question.
Yeah. Right. And it's true. Like, he does give a blueprint. And I think a lot of times, I know for me, I struggled for over a decade before actually figuring anything out in this industry. And it was kind of like I had God out here, and I'm like praying, like, yeah, I'll pray when I need you. But it wasn't until I pulled him in, said, okay, you know what? Like, take the wheel. Like, tell me, like, you guide, I'll be the vessel. You just tell me where I need to go, and really tuning into his word and listening to his promises and actually building that relationship. Because it's like, I'm not here, people say, I don't hear from God. I don't hear, well, how often are you hanging out with him?
Right.
How often are you crying on his shoulder? How often are you, telling him what's going on in your world and paying attention to him,
Yeah.
So,
It's crazy. I had, so the book, I Choose Joy, right?
Yes.
That is actually my Christian practice, my believer practice, in a non-believing way that teaches people how to hear God's voice. And most people don't know that, because people practice it all over the world. And it starts with this, because, I used to work with youth group. What's the one thing kids don't pray for is gratitude and praise. They just pray for the things they want, right? So it was something I taught the youth group. I teach the same thing to adults, but it's being grateful in all those hard times, focusing on the things that I had was it. So it's 10 things you're grateful for every single day, 3 goals, what you really feel in your gut, or your next 2 short-term wins and your big long-term ones. So you're really focused on the vision every single day. And then it's personal development, reading, quiet time, all that. And one thing that you have learned that you're going to implement that day. So I'm teaching them the practice of reading, quiet time, being grateful. And it's amazing how quickly you hear the voice. But most people don't talk to God every day. Most people don't do anything every day, which is why there isn't success, right? We've all heard the meme. Now it's no longer a quote, it's a meme.
Right.
What you do every day is more important than what you do every once in a while. And I've never not heard from God a day. Like, it's the same voice. It's the same voice I have. It's I know that if I'm in line and I'm in passion with what I'm doing and I need to help someone, even if I'm tired and there's one more and he sends me one more, I say yes. Right? So many people are out there trying to teach people how to say no to things. I'm like, I don't know. I got here because I say yes to everything.
Oh, I know. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And
As long as it aligns with mission, vision, values, right?
Absolutely. And I mean, I definitely like also, because people think, how do I know if it's a good idea, a God idea, or a bad idea? Does it align with his word? Like, is there something in there that conflicts? Because if it does, then that will tell you like that's not coming from God.
If in doubt, leave it out.
Yeah.
That wasn't correct.
My pastor said that could be coming from the lasagna you ate last night.
That's awesome. I gotta use that. I love that.
Yeah. So you sent me this quote. Some people are lost in the fire. Some people are built from it. So explain what that means and what you believe it takes to go from, being lost in the fire, because that's clearly where you were, right? And then learning to actually fan that flame to like, what is some like tactical or some advice that you can give on that?
Yeah. Everybody has fire in life. Sometimes it's people, sometimes it's loss, sometimes it's, lack of belief. Everybody has fires in their life. And I think the fires are the turning points for people, and people either choose to let it eat them alive and they choose to be mediocre, or which will be like the greatest pain of your entire life. Not achieving your potential is more painful than any of the hard work to achieve anything.
Yeah.
Right? So I think most people, a lot of people go, oh, I want to be happy. I want freedom. And I believe that people really want fulfillment, and to be fulfilled, you have to build yourself from the fires, right? Where everything that comes your way, it's all about what you do every day. So the gratitude journal, I choose joy. I built that because that's how I got out. Right? Yeah. That is how I got out of the fire, thinking the right things every day, being grateful, training, focused on my goals and nothing else. Nothing else mattered, right? I had to go in and get treatment. Well, good. I'm writing my great gratitudes while they're doing it. So I'm focused on the right things. I didn't tell anyone I had cancer. Like, I didn't want them going, do you want soup? Are you okay? You need to slow down. No, I have a mission in life. I'm going to be great, right? It's just people's mindset. So I think fulfillment is on the other side of proving every single day how much you value your life. I don't waste my thoughts, conversations on actions, on anything negative, as long as I can really try, right? It's about building self-control. I just drew a hard line and said, I will read every day. I will be grateful every day. I will achieve my goal every day. I will help someone. I will earn at least $1 every single day.
Yes.
Right? Sometimes it's 10,000, sometimes it's 100,000, sometimes it's $1. But I would never end on a zero because I was helping someone else. Okay. A lot of people, here's the hard part, right? With our faith, people are a little afraid of money and faith.
Yeah.
Right? A little hard to blend the two. I have just kept one line as my focus. Work so hard you can give like crazy. My earning goals are never about what I can do for me. They are about what I can do for this world. And if I don't go earn, I cannot go give. That was my goal, was to give more than anybody who was hating on me made in a year. That was my goal.
Wow. That's awesome. And, I used to struggle with that too, thinking, we love, my kids love to go looking at open houses around Southern California, which around here, $2 million is like the status quo for like a good sized house, right? So I used to feel guilty thinking like, this is what I want. Like, I know I could do like you, like I could do workshops here. I could do this here. I could do this, like use it as a tool, but I would still feel so guilty for like thinking, oh my gosh, like asking God to bless us with this $2 million house, So what has that thought process been for you? And I know God, we're his children. He wants to give us things. He wants us to have abundance and all of that. But I know people have that guilt too.
Yeah, they do. So here's a couple of things. I had that transition. I had a really hard time with that too. Mm-hmm. So I always tell people you have to give in an uncomfortable way starting from now. Okay. So whatever you're making right now, give 10 to 20%. Okay. My goal is always to make it and give away 50%. That's my goal every single year. Mm-hmm. which is a lot, right? And it's very scary, and we sacrifice some things to do that. So I wanted to make sure that I had celebrations that I kept it focused on. When I help this many people, I'll do this for my kids and this for the orphanage. Right? So I had like an end goal that was about serving others, but no matter if I made $1 or 1,000 or 10,000 that day, 10% immediately is going into another account to go somewhere else. Like, start giving now. It will change how you give because most people do this. Well, I'll give when I earn. Yeah. When I get there, I'm going to give back. I'm like, no, giving starts now. Yes. And this is something I started saying to myself. I'm not sure where I heard it. Maybe it was me, but I doubt it. So I'm sure somebody else said it. But all of our stuff is our interpretation of what other people have said. Yeah. But for me, when I had that hard time, people were judging me. Oh, she just wants money. All those things. And I was like, why do those hurt me? Well, do I just want money? No, but do I want some? Yes. Right. Like, I was going back and forth. And so I had to get myself right. And when I got myself right and I started giving, I stopped thinking about what other people said, but this is what I said all the time. Okay. My goal is to help those 10% of people who actually would give back with their earnings in this world. So when I interview people that I'm going to work with, I go, listen, and giving 10 to 20% is going to be part of my training. Do you understand that? Is that okay with you? Does that align? Because I don't want to help you make money if you're going to be a jerk, if you're not going to give back, right? It's part of who I am, and my training won't work if you don't have that abundant heart. If you haven't done the gratitude journal for 90 days, you're not ready for me yet, right? Mm-hmm. So I set up all these standards so that everyone in my world would be a giver, not just a taker. And then I say every single day, we can no longer afraid to make dollars that don't make change. And we're here to make a change. And I had to change. I had to give when I was scared to death. I had to give when I didn't have enough money, but I started giving then, and I didn't stop. And then I set the goals higher. And then I thought, okay, well, now how can I teach other people to give? So that's it. We're here to change the world, and your goals and everything have to be aligned. So it's what you do every single day that makes the change.
Oh, you give me goosebumps over here, girl.
Good. Let's do it.
And it's true, like, even with, like, I always relate it to tithing, because people do say that, like, well, when I make this much money, I'll be able to give more. And it's not in the giving, it's in the mindset. It's that it's all relative. Like, if you can, 10% is 10% of whatever you're making.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't really matter whether you're making more or less. It's in that thought process and changing.
Until you learn to give.
Yeah.
Hey, stop. Sorry, my dog's like growling in his sleep. Hey. When you learn to give, you'll be blessed with more way faster. People don't understand how those are attached, right? When you do well with much, more will be given. When you have a lot, more is expected, right? I could start going Bible versey on you, but it's just, when you're in the right state, it's like I say, become the one your results require. There's a level of you that needs to shift, change, and commit, and the results are attached to those.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. It's like, I love this interview. Okay. So my last question, obviously it takes mind management, tenacity. Like, you have such a fire, like, you're just a firecracker. So going from, 3 jobs, 3 kids to millionaire maker, it wasn't an overnight success, right? But looking back, what advice would you give that mom of 3, what advice would she have needed when she was just going through that beginning phase of getting started?
Yeah. Okay, moms. People, and this, I think Julie Burke is doing your training here too, right? So Julie and I have a little project coming out for moms. And so we both have a huge heart for moms. So to that mom, whoever told you that you can't have it all was wrong. You have to understand there is time for amazing mom and strong businesswoman. We are meant to show our kids what they are capable of, not tell them. And when you live your full potential, they will be able to live theirs. So every single day you think, how can I do all this? You remember who's watching, right? be the hero they need. And, you know, there's times I've cried in my closet. That's my timeout space. There's times where they've seen me at not my best state. There's times I've had to apologize for being in a hurry. There's like, you have to understand, they also have to see you give yourself grace, because they're going to have challenges that they don't do well with, and they need to not beat themselves up. So don't beat yourselves up in front of them. Give yourself grace, ask for forgiveness, love them, but achieve and show them how you are afraid. Take them with you. I take my kids on trips with me. I take them to speaking events. I let them sell for me in the back of their room. My kids know how to sell. They know how to do all that. The best thing you could ever show them is how to become the best version of yourself, and let them see you fail and win and rise and laugh and giggle with them and be like, well, that was embarrassing. Like, they've done that before, and they've been like, Mom, you flubbed your words like crazy. I'm like, I know. I felt like I had a stutter, right? And we laugh together. Or they'll tell me, hey, that part didn't make sense. They're the greatest input I could ever get. But no matter what, do it and have grace for the journey. Like, they will not learn how to be a hero unless you do.
Oh, such wise words, woman. I love it.
Thank you. It's the greatest job in the world to be a mama and to be an entrepreneur. It's like, it gets to be us. It's not hard. It gets to be us. Not everybody gets this luxury.
Yeah. It's a gift for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't even think we had a chance to talk about this, but do you have a free gift that you would like to share with the audience that they can sign up for or tune in?
For sure. I'll always give them something, right?
Yeah.
One thing I would tell everybody is the best thing I can do is consistency. So every Friday night, I am live on my business page, Friday Night Live, Danelle Delgado, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. I go live, and I share for about an hour training entrepreneurs, personal business development. That would be the greatest gift I can give you, because I have all these trainings and all these things that I could throw in there. But number one, it's the training that I do. I focus the most on that. Number two, it's where my tribe is, and my tribe will come alongside you and help you on your journey. So that's what I would suggest.
Well, I'll be sure to put that link in the email along with this interview, so you can definitely access that and check out Danelle, because, oh my gosh, like, I love you.
I love you too. Thank you for doing this.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for being here and being the light and just bringing all your awesomeness. So until next time, guys, have a blessed day, and we'll catch you later.